Hey, yo, everybody, welcome to part 3 of the draft dissections. A fully Victorian squad here with Melbourne, Essendon and Carlton on the agenda. If you haven't watched part 1 or part 2, you can find them in the description or there, the pinned comment. Like the video if you obviously like what you are seeing, listening, hearing, the strategies involved, all of that. Click that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Aiming for 600 before the end of the calendar year, and that does include videos that will be coming post-draft and through December about all things 2023, which I cannot wait for, but let's get into it. Draft dissection, draft strategies of Melbourne, Essendon, and the Blue Baggers.
Wrong side for him, hooks a ball! What a ball! Sensational!
I only expect the Dees to take 2 picks out of this draft, that being 13 and 37, and I think 13 is pretty much locked in to be Matty Jefferson at this point. I think he and Jacob van Rooyen are going to lead this Melbourne forward line in a post-McDonald-Brown era, if you want to call it that. However, I think the Dees are getting a ripper here. I do think Jacob van Rooyen is going to be your centre half forward, and Jefferson is going to be your full forward, a guy who can lead out nicely. He's got decent hands. His set shot goal kicking left a little to be desired at different points throughout the year, but I am a Matty J fan, and he and Van Rooyen, I think, are going to be a fantastic partnership leading forward. They don't have many list holes, the Dees, here at all. None. And with Gawn and Grundy coming in, they could look to target a ruckman maybe in the rookie draft, maybe in the mid-season draft if something disastrous does happen on that front. But at 37, I think they're just going to take the best talent available. That could be a guy like a Jackson Binns who could be around that point. Do you take a punt and try to bring in a Mitch Zibkowski there? Who knows? Do they maybe take a reach? Do they go after maybe a Sam Gilby or a Bailey McDonald? 2 defenders who both have, well, in McDonald's case, he is a speedy line breaker. He could be your Jaden Hunt kind of replacement, even if he wasn't best 22 material. You could give him a shot, whereas Gilby's intercept ability and his two-way defense could appeal to the D's here at 37, but I don't expect them to take the pick in the 70s or the 80s into the draft. They might wait and see what happens in the rookie draft, but they can't really go all that wrong here, the D's, and it's going to be a tick if they get my man Matty J, because I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do at AFL level. But if you're the D's supporters, if you're the fan base out there, grab your cheese boards, because it's going to be a fun 2023 no matter what happens. Well, it's looking more and more likely that Essendon are definitely going to come out of this draft with Owen Davey Jr. and their next generation academy player, Anthony Munkara. But it's what they do at pick 4 that is all the intriguing for me. Now, Matthias Philippou does seem like the man that is going to go to the Dons here. I know he's got that fig jam about him, but I'll say it once. I know if I've said it 1,000 times, he's 17. You're not going to be that fully formed person yet. And if that confidence is well backed up by the elite traits that he has shown as a 193cm goal-kicking, clearance-winning midfielder, can you blame him? As some people have said, it worked for Bucks, but let's not put too many expectations on the kid. Depending on where their bid for Davey comes will affect their pick 22. Now, if it is 22 or it stays within that 22 to 28 kind of boundary, I definitely think Josh Weddle is going to be a go here. I think Zach Reid is going to need a long-term partner. I'm not sure if their strategy of converting bad forwards into semi-decent defenders is the way to go. I think Mason Redman can definitely hold down the centre half back spot and still use that intercepting ability that, in my opinion, should have seen him win the best and fairest. Jordan Ridley can go back to being that pure intercept player that saw him win his best and fairest not too long ago. But I'll answer the question with that 4 pick. I think they go Philippou here. They'll end up with Davey Jr. and Munkara, and if they still have a pick there, I think their only 2 options are maybe an outside player, potentially a guy who they might start on a wing. You could go down those lines, or they take a centre half back, a Weddle or a Lewis Hayes. If either are around that mark, they could definitely do that. Could they trade back and look for assets next year? They definitely could do that, but I think with Brad Scott in the door, they're going to want as many youngsters as possible, and I don't blame them. The Blue Baggers, again, I am ditching their last two picks for a couple of reasons. One, the Blues don't have enough list holes that they could potentially take a chance. And two, they are going to be putting all their effort in their front three picks. Now, I talked about Bailey McDonald for the Dons. I definitely think he is a target for the Blues' third pick here. They do love their speedy, rebounding midfielders, but they could potentially start him on a wing if they do what I think they should do with their first pick. If they do take Ollie Hollands, then that pick in the 40s genuinely just becomes a best talent available. Maybe they could get a crumbing forward. Does a Blake Drury fall in the draft? Who knows? But I think the Blues need to take Jed Buslinger with their first pick. I know that's just my opinion, and Blues fans, comment below, let me know. But I know Ollie Hollands is there, and if they genuinely believe he's the better player and would fit them, I don't mind it at all. But I do think they're going to need to take another key defender soon, this draft or the next. I love Buslinger's ability. He is one of my favourites coming out of this draft, and he fits the Blue Baggers in a big, big way. Yes, he got injured at the back end of the carnival, but I believe that if he didn't get injured, he would be absolutely certified as a top 10 selection. If the Blues do go Hollands here, I think their second pick is just going to be anyone who can go on the outside of the contest. With Cripps, Walsh's two-way ability, they've got enough. Grunt, George Hewitt, and Matt Kennedy can also do it as well. But anyone on the outside, they would target there. But if the Blue Baggers, for mine, can come out of this draft with Buslinger, an outside midfielder in their second pick, and a guy who can potentially take some time to develop a project player with their pick in the back end of the 40s, that would be a massive get. But if they do take Hollands first, do they reach on James Van Ness, given where he is falling in a lot of phantom drafts? It's definitely possible. The Blues are in a position to do that, but I just can't help but shake the feeling that they do need a key defender out of this draft or the next one. And given that they're not going to have a gluttony of picks in this draft in a decent enough position, why not this one? So that's it, guys. Part 3 done and dusted. Hope you enjoyed in a big, big way. Like the video if you did. Comment below what you agree with, what you disagree with. Go watch the other parts if you haven't seen them yet. But most of all, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'll see you in the next draft dissection. Have a good one.